Yeah, welcome to that.
Yeah. Okay. Who is how would you describe yourself? Meaningful to you?
I am a musical performance recording producer that makes superstar music. I would say that would be the best description. Just as a musician and a lyricist.
Oh, I know C.Jai, the artist, so I've got the joy seeing you perform. I want to know a little bit about who C.Jai the lover.
Pretty much is who I am. I'm just like how people be like, I fight. People make fun of me, but I've never been in a big before. Like other than like with my siblings and my childhood, I've never been like where I think fighting is senseless. I'm not an advocate of war, even though I do respect soldiers. I just think like we're adults, we can talk things out. But like on the deeper level, I think I'm pretty easygoing, pretty authentic, pretty raw, chill, laid back. That's kind of like who I am. I find myself being more and more alone with my craft, music. I keep prioritizing that as well as self-care, self-love. And that's kind of what like Sunset ended up being about. It's about understanding how important self-love really is. So that all your other relationships fall in alignment from that place. Because I didn't really know what self-love was. And it's hard to be a good lover, So I find like loving myself and enjoying my craft. So that's what I was saying.
What inspired that? Is that about self-care, important that you is that it come from home?
It came from her. It didn't come from self-love. Because it was originally created in my life. So I wasn't thinking about self-love and self-care then. I thought I understood what love was, and I really didn't. And I learned that time. And that song kind of grew with me with time. And it was kind of interesting to release it at this chapter in my life for that very reason. And I don't even feel like it's no more. But I was able to kind of see like the meaning and the bigger message and allow like that's my journey to kind of speak through, and being able to provide context in any situation like this has been very helpful to give people a greater idea. Like it's not all about hardship, but it's about learning about hardship. It's about understanding like the importance of knowing and loving yourself. That way you don't find yourself feeling empty in relationships. Because our relationships are a reflection. So
Yeah.
My relationship with God, I value that more than anything. Because that's taught me about my relationship with myself, my relationship with others. Someone who is aligned, of course, but more than that, someone who is patient, someone who loves himself, someone who knows that there's one out of life. Like I'm not saying like Matt every second night because God had the greatest plan. I've been thinking I'm about to do all this stuff in my life, and I'm like, oh, you just gonna sit with me all day? That's cool, fine. But just someone who has like some type of drive and ambition, someone who is like understands my passion and my drive and like that's like the order of my life. I consider myself kind of orderly and that can like rub people the wrong way. So like someone that just understands that's just kind of how I function. And I can say like I'm in a box, but like it gives me peace to function in order. So someone who can kind of flow with that. So like maybe like friction and keeping me from where I need to be. Like I said, like my relationship with God is important to me. My relationship with myself, my relationship with my relationship with my family. So someone who understands and respects that. And who's just willing to be a part of that journey and like not have any like not to say not to have standards, but like any level of expectation out of me other than just being in love and allowing things to kind of just organically over time.
So do you make room for somebody? You have all this going, you actually make room, you know?
That's a funny question. Do I make room? I would say yeah. I think it depends on that person's style of loving, whether or not it's intentional. But I would say I do make room. My days are pretty packed. So the most room that my lover would get out of me is like in the evening or like weekend, like Saturday. And then Sunday would be like, other than spending time by myself and resting, that's like Friday. And that's just because that's how I raised. Sunday is the day of rest in our household. So though it may be very little time and room, it is room that I'll make. And I do say, I think like, it depends on like what that person brings out too, right? Somebody could be very creative and find ways to like not fit in my schedule, but ways that like can flow in my schedule. Yeah, because it's just making sure that there isn't like that friction where I'm not sticking to my passion, sticking to my drive. So if you're able to be creative and be where I am, then there's an abundance of room. Yeah. Where you take it there?
Oh my gosh.
She said, no. She said we need to talk about this.
We gotta talk about it.
No way. I done hit a pop button.
Yes.
No way.
I want to know someone that's successful. You know, someone that is passionate about something.
Yeah.
Really, you know, have a drive. It's often seems that when it comes to the love life, it's passive. It's like, what are you pushing the brakes in that area of your life? But forward moving, everywhere else you working, you pushing. But when it comes to, you know, the love life, you just like, I'll chill. I'll get it when I get it.
Yeah.
In God's timing. Is it in God's timing? Is it in
Pastor, why you coming down the block like that?
We have to help God.
As a matter of fact, no. I think that's a great point. Well, I think just, okay, in my experience, I've experienced it not being, I don't want to label, but I'm not generalizing it, but in a sense, like I was focused so much on that everything else was suffering. And not everything else, but I would say like my passion, like with my craft. And like, I drive outside of my craft. So it's like finding that balance between everything, but then I also realize like it's also okay for that not to be your main priority. Because sometimes I find myself meeting people where it's like they make that their life, and it's like there's people that make their craft their life, there's people that make their relationship their life, and then there's rare people on earth that find somewhere in between. I haven't quite made it to in between just yet. I'm more like, I'm gonna just chill on that, because it's like, I also don't want to, I also see like, I just watch like people, I love people watching, that's one of my favorites. And it's like I see people be so passionate and so driven about things, and then I watch a relationship let time pass, and it's like now you're married, it's a decade later, like your passion never happened, you got kids, and it's like whoa, I cannot handle that. So it's like I really need to know that I gave this my all, and understand that like a relationship is a beautiful thing when it's in alignment, and it's like, in a sense, it's an asset to your life, and it's not becoming your life. And that's the other thing just about like my spirituality, my relationship with God, understanding like my relationship with God makes us whole. And I think a lot of times people think they have a better half in their partner, and I just don't believe in that. I feel like I'm whole, and whatever you bring to my life is blessings, extra blessings, whatever I already have going on. But I had to learn that, and I didn't quite understand that in my past relationships. It was like I thought this person was supposed to be that, like I didn't know how to be that. Right. But now that I'm in a space where it's like I'm trying to understand love or stay not like I understand it all the way because like I'm still a student, but understanding it more is like okay, if I were to do a relationship, it would have to be done like this, or I would prefer that this is so.
And a little bit about like music, right? You constantly uncovering bits and pieces of yourself. And I feel like the more you learn yourself and understand what you like, and pay attention to that, it'll pour out, in everything that you do.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's one thing that people don't always think about with music is like you are exposing yourself in a sense, even if it's not that, even if that chapter isn't present at that point in time, you're exposing yourself. And being in a relationship, like as a musician, as an artist, your partner's going to have a question about what you're exposing more than anybody else on the planet. More than anybody. Who was that written about? Like, and I don't always want to tell you. Like, maybe it was about you, maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
It's storytelling.
It's storytelling.
Like, I have an imagination.
I do. And one thing, like, I will share with you and whoever is listening to this, it's like, most of the time when I'm writing, it's not like there are some songs where it is like about a particular situation or a particular relationship. And then there's other songs where it's like I'm referencing 3 relationships or I'm referencing relationships with like my family, or so it's not always like this is about you or this is about this other person that you're strong with. It's not, so that's why I feel like people that are like really driven sometimes become passive about relationships because it can be seen as a distraction sometimes if that person isn't really like moving with you in the same direction.
You can't control other people.
No.
So I think that I become passive.
Because you guys aren't controlling.
Because you need to control it. I need to control this, but I know
I can't control you. Right. So
I'm gonna just even bother with
I'm not even going. Yeah. And not that I can control anything else in my life, but it's also just like I hold myself accountable in every regard. I cannot hold somebody else fully accountable for their action. Like if they're not doing that for them, right? So it's like I know I can hold myself accountable within this relationship, but it's like is that other person doing that too? Like
I will say this is that what I come to the conclusion is that holding yourself accountable and not holding someone else accountable, because I say that that's God's job to hold them accountable. I hold myself accountable and I let God hold someone else accountable. I'm not, instead of like getting into like, trying to discipline someone or like crucify them for something that you didn't like, it wasn't in your favor per se. So just wanted to make peace too.
But that's also part of like, if depending on how it's delivered, that's also a part of grace. That's also a part of mercy. And that's why my relationship with God is important to me. Because that reminds me like how graceful and merciful God is to me. I have to do that with other people. And that's a part of I guess my love characteristics is being graceful and merciful to me and being graceful and merciful to that person. But not to my own detriment. And being very transparent. Like this is the kind of love that I deserve, this is the kind of love that I give myself, and this is the kind of love I expect. And like if you're not able to or willing to give me that, that is okay. We can love each other from a distance. And I'm gonna respect if somebody say that to me. Like, hey, like how can you argue that?
Exactly.
If I'm not giving you what you feel you deserve, then I respect that.
What's one thing or 2 things if you're feeling generous?
5.
What's something that you feel is what's the word that you would describe then give yourself that you may not expect from someone else?
Okay. Well, my first thought was peace. But if I'm like, if I had a partner, like if I'm in a partnership, I don't expect you to disturb my peace. So I can't say I don't expect that. But I would say like time to myself is something I give myself. But I can't always necessarily expect others to give me that, if that makes sense. Because people have needs, and sometimes people feel like they need something from you, need you. need your attention, I need your assistance. And that's just human nature. But I feel like that's something I give myself that I don't necessarily expect from others. I appreciate it, but I don't always expect it.
Year round.
Being my expression to me. Sonic expression in like some type of organized format that makes it a little more digestible.
Oh, okay.
Because certain topics be hard to talk about. Like, I don't mind conversation. Personally, I think, like, the human race is really weird, and I hate to generalize this, but, like, in my experience, people have had this, like, really bad perspective about confrontation being a negative thing. And I don't necessarily think it's that bad, because there's, like, 8 billion of us here. So it's like we all have different perspectives and upbringings. So it's like the likelihood of us not agreeing is very high. It's very high. So it's like, what do you do when you don't agree? It's not a negative thing not to agree. But it's always like that friction for whatever reasons, and people feel uncomfortable and they look at it like, oh, it's a confrontation. Like, I hate confrontation. It's like, I enjoy it because that means I have an opportunity to learn something about myself and learn something about you. So I relate that to like expression and through music, because like it allows me to say things to people that otherwise may not listen or receive what I have to say. Just because there's like that wall or the belief that there's some animosity in my heart when I deliver it to them. So it just makes it a little bit more palatable.
We're asking for a friend.
Are you as passionate of a lover as you are about music?
I mean, I would say so, but I'm biased. I'm gonna endorse myself, of course. My answer is, of course.
Of course. Of course.
Of course.